Okay, so another talking video. A lot of people get on to me about not working and not having a job, so I would like to explain a little bit about my work history. Um, I graduated high school with a 4.3, and I entered college. And I did a 4-year program, and I got my bachelor's. And then after that, I went out into the workforce and I got a retail job first because it was COVID and nobody was hiring. So I was like, I guess I'll go work at Michael's. So I got myself a retail job first and, like, survived, right? Like, that's what you consider retail work, is surviving. Like, every one of us who worked retail knows, like, that's a survival feeling. And so I went from that, and then I finally got this career job, and I was like so excited because, like, I don't know, my life, I was like, I'm gonna be like so independent. I'm gonna do these things for myself. I'm gonna be like so cool. And then I got this career job and I felt like I was on top of the world. I got my own apartment. I was driving everywhere. I was like a real person. I felt like a real person, right? And then when all of the symptoms started happening. So for context, I have a lot of issues, but the ones that are relevant to this story are autism and schizophrenia. I've dealt with autism my whole life, obviously, and I've dealt with certain levels of the schizophrenic traits my entire life, like paranoia, for example. But schizophrenia comes around not later in life, but in your 20s. And if you're autistic and you're already developmentally delayed, that can affect when the schizophrenia is oncoming. So I started to deal with it in my pretty much mid 20s. I think I started when I was 23. And it was, I can't even describe how depressed I became when I had to leave the workforce. I can't even remotely explain how devastated I was and how guilty I felt and disgusted in myself that I felt. I put all my value into the idea of making money for society, that the minute I couldn't do that anymore, I decided that, like, why should I be here? It was so, thinking about it, it's so ridiculous because I would never apply that value to another human being. But to me, it just felt like I deserved that, which I think we all have a level of that, right? Where we're harder on ourselves than we are on other people, usually. But I just want to say these things, and I know some people are still going to say, you're lazy, you're lazy. Okay. I get it. Your uncle who lost his leg in Vietnam and got brain damage from a mortar shell can still work 3 jobs and feed his 12 children. I get it. I really do. But it's not the same for everybody. It's not the same. And I don't know how many times I have to say that. And your grandfather who lost his leg in Nam and got a mortar shell to the head shouldn't have had to work 3 jobs to take care of his family, okay? He should have been able to have benefits so that he could have gotten treatment and care and actual, support from a support system, from a care team. So these things aren't flexes. They're genuinely just, oh my God, I wish you had what you needed in that moment. Like, it doesn't feel good to hear those things. It makes me sad for that person. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's not like I'm not jealous, I'm sad, because it's like you're holding this person to such a standard that it's not fair. You're not treating them like a human being. Like, yes, obviously, you can expect from us what you think you can expect from us or whatever. We can't change that. But I don't know, the way people view disabled people in the workforce kind of frustrates me because a lot of us do want to work. A lot of us loved our jobs. A lot of us felt really good about ourselves because we had jobs. And a lot of us struggle with guilt and sadness and depression and self-loathing because we simply can't work. And it's in the scale of the universe, it is such a small thing to hate ourselves over. But because of society telling us over and over again, your only value is monetary, a lot of disabled people become extremely depressed when they can't join the workforce or when they have to leave the workforce. It's not okay to make fun of that. And honestly, a lot of the people that make fun of disabled people for not working, I don't think you guys know just how much we miss working, or how much we feel guilty, or how much we feel lesser than because of it. And I don't think you understand just how much you're rubbing salt into the wounds that are already there. I think a lot of the people that say these things to disabled people genuinely believe that we spend all day, like, laying around doing nothing and not actively fighting our body and our mind. Like, I don't think you guys understand that a majority of a disabled person's day is fighting themselves so that they can function, fighting the pain, fighting the exhaustion, fighting the feeling that you're so heavy, fighting the nausea, fighting the passing out, all of it, fighting the hallucinations, fighting the paranoia, fighting the sensory issues. 90% of a disabled person's day is monitoring and managing their symptoms. So of course they're exhausted, and of course they don't have a lot of energy to work. And it's so hard to explain this, because me explaining this as a disabled person, I know I'm still gonna get people being like, cope. Yeah, everybody's trying to cope with what they're going through. You're not special for telling me I'm coping, because I guarantee you you're coping with 90% of your life too. Point is, I just really wanted to say this and give my perspective, because a lot of people give disabled people shit just because we can't work. And you don't understand that we're already giving ourselves shit for that, and you're not changing anything. You're just adding salt to the wounds of people who genuinely just don't deserve your shit. That's it.